The memo said it was a lot.
Ladies and gentlemen, the gang is all here. Time for MAGFest. Now, Voice-a-palooza is something that's different and interesting. In just a few, we're going to be creating a video game right here in this room from your suggestions.
And we're really going to suck.
Yeah. Last year we did this. John was here, Chris was here, I was here. We had Matt Mercer here. It was a hot mess. And it was a lot of fun. So think of suggestions right now, because we're going to be doing this in just a few, but I want you to think of suggestions for character names, locations, what the game will be called, what kind of items, magical or non-magical, will be in the game, and, you know, a few other monkey wrenches to throw in. In the meantime, we will still continue for just a few. I know there are a lot of questions that weren't answered in the voice acting panel earlier today. So if you have your questions, raise your hand, we'll get going. And no more hugs from John St. John. The man's exhausted. He's well laid, right? You got to come up here, though. You know, maybe it was because everybody was up really, really late last night, but there seems to be more energy in the room for this particular panel. All right, any questions? Yes, the gentleman, not you in the front, but the one behind you, and we'll get back to you.
Who, me?
Yes, you.
Okay, how many characters have you done in Skyrim?
I've done 5 characters in Skyrim. I've done Shedagorath, the spiritual assassin who shall not be named. I've done the Emperor, Titus Meade II.
He was so nice.
He was. And I'll bet you weren't nice to him, were you? Hermaeus Mora, the most drugged out sounding character I have ever done. And all of the Dramora. So that's so far. DLC upcoming, hopefully. Gentlemen, you want to take a...
Oh, sure, okay.
Gentleman in the front.
Well, obviously, WoW has made a big impression on the whole gaming public, but so it's mostly a question for Ellen, but it could be for anybody. How do you prepare to make an inhuman character, a completely fantastic science fiction character, and make it sound believably otherworldly, but still human?
Well, I think part of it is taking the natural modulations out of your voice. I remember on the first game on Portal, deadly neurotoxin, the deadly neurotoxin emitter. You know, I was talking like that. Once I lost the morality course, then I got this other voice that we figured out in the studio. But I think that it doesn't matter that it's an artificial intelligence, that it's a machine. The machine still wants something. The machine wants to test. The machine loves science. So the character still wants something. So that's made it easier for me to have an objective.
I think I've done some really weird alien voices for Dota 2 coming up, and one of them was this kind of ice fiend guy, and I think that, you know, there are things that you add or things that you take away from a human voice, and I think the ice fiend guy ended up sounding something like, you know, you know, and you do that stuff, and then you die after a while, but but it's finding ways to actually speak, because, you know, the funny thing to me about, you know, all television science fiction and all movie science fiction is, except for Star Wars, is that no matter where you go, people speak English. You know, even Britain. So you know, you don't have that. You have to speak English. And you're really trying to either add something to the voice, like, you know, guttural stuff, something like that, or take away stuff in the voice, like resonance.
I always felt bad for E123 Omega from Sonic, because he was a robot video game character that never got the chance to have any depth or emotion, did he?
I know that character. Oh yeah, I was him, wasn't I?
Oh yeah, you were.
I only spoke like this through the entire game with no emotion whatsoever.
And now we're going to put like 13 filters over your voice.
It is the future. We should all speak in a monotone.
Could you do me a favor and use that voice and deliver some of your Duke Nukem lines in it?
I will have to rip off your head and shit down your neck. I had eggs for breakfast. Your mother had sausage.
When they changed the cast a while ago, there was a game where they forgot to put the filters over Omega's voice. So it was a person talking like this big hulking robot that sounded like this the entire time. Like, yeah, that's appropriate sounding, okay.
I am Huggy the gay robot.
The monotone has been a staple of the robot voice since robot voices were conceived. And when you think about Stephen Hawking's voice, and you know, there's something taken away, but there's something added in the spirit behind the voice.
The great thing about Stephen Hawking's voice, or lack of, is that anyone can impersonate it with Microsoft software.